ever had a game that you beg people to play like a rabid dog that needs to put down with a 357 Magnum and forcibly given a that's me with Deathbound. There's a lot of games on sale on Steam right now, you know, like fucking always. But my favorite one of the bunch is Deathbound. There's a lot of Elden Ring dick riders that'll call this game awful because it's not another FromSoft game, but this game has its own merits that made me personally like it way more than Elden Ring. Just to get the only negative that's really just a nitpick out of the way off rip, the story in this game is fucking terrible. There is one, but it's not really good simply because it just isn't fleshed out enough to give you anything sizable to be able to chew on and dig through. Everything else about Deathbound is amazing. So when you play this game, just know you're not showing up for any real story in any way at all whatsoever, period. Here are some of the good things about the game though. Not only is this game highly optimized, meaning you could run it in a PDF file and still get 60 frames, but that also means when you go to play it on a higher end PC, it looks absolutely gorgeous and wonderful at all times. I usually don't like body horror type art styles, but the way that the colors are implemented and contrasted within the different thematically dark environments, Deathbound had me always eager to see what was the next everything and what it would look like. In terms of the combat system, yes, this game is an action-based Soulsborne, but in my opinion, it plays nothing like one. The way Triforge Studios did it is by having 6 characters that fit build stereotypes for you to choose from. They're all on screen for you right now, but for example, Ana is a fast, sneaky assassin with low damage and a really good backstab, versus
Agaros,
who is a slow-moving, hard-hitting, big tanky brute. They have a system in this game called the Morph system where after choosing 4 of the 6 unlockable characters to be in your party, you can switch to any of those characters freely at any time. There are even special moves called Morph Strikes where you can unleash devastating attacks that help you defeat any foe in your vicinity. If you're getting jumped and using Julia's big, long, hard stick attacks to control a crowd, and a ranged enemy with a small health bar hops up out the cut and starts shooting you, you could switch to Theron and use your shield to block and parry away the projectiles, so you could run up on that ranged enemy and poke them ribs up. The different characters in this game all land on different ends and parts of a moral spectrum that is revealed within the limited story that is there, that make it so that depending on who you have in your party, certain members will buff or debuff each other based on your party member. The characters in the game all land on different ends of a moral spectrum that's explained within the limited story that is there. The characters in the game all land on different ends of a moral spectrum that make it so that depending on who you have in your party, certain members will debuff or buff each other based on who else you have in your party and where they land on that moral spectrum. Another thing I love about this game is the way that the maps are designed. Not only just in terms of how they look, but in terms of how they play. Without spoiling the fun of discovering the maps, they're all designed in a way where they loop back into themselves without being too confusing. I personally enjoy this a lot because I don't like being forced to grind for hours and hours on end just to enjoy a game. The way that the maps are designed in Deathbound, I could spend about an hour walking around making some spliffs and listening to music while making enough money to be able to upgrade my character to the next level. Well, money, XP, whatever the fuck, same shit, same purpose, yeah. Which also goes into how leveling up in this game works, cause it's pretty cool. Long story short, whenever you level up any character in this game, all characters benefit from it. Which for me personally was a good thing because it motivated me to actually fill out the skill tree as much as I could. And if you're worried about this game being another 100 billion, quintillion, trillion hour game, don't worry. I was able to beat the entirety of the story in about 25 hours. Keep in mind that I made sure to overlevel every boss so it could probably be done. Keep in mind that I made sure to overlevel every boss so it could probably be done in about 15 if you just want to straight up scrap with the boss. If you're still scrapping with the idea of buying this game, then go ahead and try out the 100% free demo available right now. It's what got me to like this game in the first place. It only takes about an hour, but I managed to squeeze a whole 10 out of it just because it was so fun for me. Then after that, you could go ahead and get the full release and now be able to answer the question,